take a look at this. This is 4K.
Regular 4K,
And
correct.
you won't be able to see this because you'll be watching this in HD, but I can see something that looks pretty real to me.
It is really,
Those
really good,
reds look really, really vivid.
Correct, yes.
What more am I going to get from something called HDR?
So that's what we have set up on this TV, where you can see the difference side by side. So HDR is the new broadcasting standard, which gives you much more color, much more brightness information compared to regular 4K.
So these are both 4K pictures.
Yes.
But this one has high dynamic range.
Correct, yes. So you see the skin tones, for example, much more realistic, much more intense.
Okay, let's have a closer look. Well, maybe not that close.
HDR cameras capture colour information using a longer 10-bit code rather than today's 8-bit. So more colour hues are available, making things look more real. For the first time, these TVs can play that back. Our eyes can see a huge spectrum of brightness, about 15 stops worth. But up to now, TVs have had trouble coping with even half of that. The picture burns out too easily, or dark bits lose detail. HDR delivers 85% of what most of us can see, resulting in a picture that holds on to the darker detail even when bright lights are in shot.
Very little detail there, and in here, look at all that detail in the trees. And these suns, one is sort of quite big and the other one's much smaller.
Yes.
Is that something that you get when you shoot in HDR?
Yes, so when you shoot in HDR, because you're capturing much more of the brightness information, you don't get this blooming effect, you don't get this washed out effect that you have with very, very high brightness information. While with the original broadcast standard, everything kind of gets washed out, and that's no problem anymore.
LG announced last week that 3 out of 4 of its new TV sets this year would have HDR. Its OLED screens will show even more detail in the darker ranges, it says, and it's teamed up with Dolby to support a sort of superior HDR experience. Dolby Vision allows for even more details to be captured and displayed than the HDR10 industry standard. Now there's a rush to get content filmed in HDR to our screens. Amazon and Netflix have limited offerings. YouTube says it'll be next, with broadcasters expected in 2017. And the new 4K Blu-ray disc players support both Dolby Vision and the standard HDR10. With compatible TVs coming to shops this year in all but the smallest budget price range, the industry hopes we'll have no excuses not to buy in.